गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। This word Guru is accepted in the management terminology as an authentic word. It is no more a Sanskrit word. Therefore, they use the term management gurus. And yet, the sanctity of this institution called as Guru is not fully invoked. And that is why management is a myth. In fact, there is mismanagement if there is something. As it was rightly said by somebody who introduced, I am sorry I don't know the name, that we have to manage ourselves first. Therefore, actually my talk is over. Because he gave the gist. Now what is there to talk? And yet I will talk. Because we have to manage ourselves means what? Then the self-management becomes meaningful. We all, whether we are in the corporate world or we are in our home front, business, anywhere, we have to interact at two levels. One, we have to interact with the people around us, and second is we have to interact with ourselves, two levels. With the people around us whom we have to interact, there also we come across four categories of people. Those who are senior than us, elder than us, those who are our contemporaries, those who are younger than us or junior than us, and those who are the elements of nuisance. With them also we have to deal. We just can't say, I don't care. They will make you care for them. Because one of the best method to get the things in this world is increase your nuisance value. Higher the nuisance value, more you are cared in this world. So these are the four kinds of people with whom we have to interact. And the second one is we ourselves. So first we will take the first front. If we are able to manage our interaction with the world, we have achieved 50% of battle of life. And the remaining 50% is how do we manage ourselves with ourselves. So let us take the first half. Not the better half, the first half. You know, one day somebody asked me this question. I don't know why people ask me questions. At times I feel I am a questionable personality or what. When they look at me, they ask questions. So, the question asked was, Swamiji, we call our wives as better halves. What should be the husband called? I said, you decide and pass a resolution. Why you get me involved in that? No, you know everything, so you tell. So I told them, if you are better half, so they are the best fools. Don't mistake the spelling. My pronunciation is wrong. So, let us take the half of this management, self-management. When we come in contact with others, how do we do that? And the foundation on which we must develop our relations, we must interact with the world, is the foundation of love. Where there is love, problems are not required to be solved, they get dissolved. Where there is logic, there other than the problems, nothing else comes. So the basic principle of managing our relations with the world should be based on the foundation of love. Now the question is, what is the meaning of love? Every now and then giving in writing, I love you, yours lovingly. What is the meaning of this love? One day, this question I was asking in some gathering, what is the meaning of love? So many questions, replies were given. And one person told something very peculiar, and it was so touching. That person said, Swamiji, that we do not know what is the meaning of love, but when sometime you just hug us, suddenly, without our knowledge, when you are going to hug, and then you whisper in our ear, hey, I love you. That time something happens. That is what is called as love. Then what happens? Because I go nearer to your ear with my dadi and mush, you get tickling, that happens. See, love is that emotion in human mind which is able to touch the hearts of our people without any spatial medium, without any spatial efforts. And this institution of love has to be developed, has to be discovered in our heart. There is none in this world who doesn't have love. We may not love others, but we love ourselves the most. Therefore, if that love is already there, why not we nurture it? Why not we manure it? Why not we irrigate it? Why not we make it grow into a fountainhead of our expression and interaction with the world? And when this love grows, there are no difficulties in life. And when there is lack of love, there is nothing but difficulties in life. So, our interaction with the world in the self-management is based on the principle of love. There is one cassette here, Pyar Ka Vedanta. It's beautifully sung, a song written by some great Mahatma whom I do not know. I was just reading some place, a book of poetry was kept on my table. And I just opened the page, first page, and I started reading. And while reading itself, it has touched my heart so much that we brought out a beautiful cassette out of it, sung in a most professional manner. There it is said that that heart or that home where there is no love, it is like a graveyard. Without love, relations cannot sustain for long. It becomes only a bargain. Therefore, let us try to understand our interaction with the world on the principle of love. Now, our interaction with the elders. Then all our problems get solved. Interaction with the elders must be based on the foundation of respect and reverence. Respect and reverence for elders is called as love. Now see what happens. When we have respect and reverence, our mind becomes calm and quiet. See your own experience. When we go to a temple, and that is our favorite temple because we like that particular temple and the god. And everybody has got some kind of affinity, attraction for a particular temple or a god. There is no reason. In love, there is no reason. Love is always unreasonable. Logic only reasonable. Therefore, those who are logical people, they don't love fully, they love reasonably. So, there was one person in Allahabad probably. He used to take me for my lectures, morning meditation lecture. We had to drive for about 40 minutes to reach the venue of our talks, morning talks, from his house. And he used to take another detour for 10 minutes. So almost 55 minutes to reach there. He told me, Swamiji, I know it is too much, but I can't stop it. I have to go. I said, all right. I am choiceless existence. I have no choice. I agree. And then he used to go, stop the car. I used to sit in the car itself. He'll go a little bit distance. A very dilapidated, ordinary house. Nothing special in that place. No even temple. Go and do namaskar and come back. One day, second day, third day. Then I asked him, which is the temple, which is the god? Kindly tell me. Swamiji, there is nothing like temple here. Then there is one house, and in the wall of that house there is one stone fixed. And on that stone there is a craving of Hanumanji. And I have always a great attraction and love for that. So whenever I go for anything, the first thing that I do in the morning, go there, offer my pranam, and then go ahead. Now if you see that particular thing, no beauty, no nothing, yet he is benefited. Now what is that? Because of which he is benefited? Whenever you are standing in front of the idol of your reverence, your mind is absolutely calm, still, alert, vigilant and beautiful. And such a mind is the fit instrument to think positively, to think correctly, to think in the right direction. All that we achieve in our life is through this agency of mind. And this mind needs to be tackled in such a manner that it is always available. If the instrument through which we are working, if the instrument is bad, our performance cannot be perfect. There was one husband, early morning he was shouting. That is the only time they have got freedom to shout. Thereafter, it is taken over by somebody. So he was shouting. I don't know what happens to this blade companies, what kind of rubbish blade they have produced. I couldn't even shave properly. He was shouting. And immediately the wife is listening. She has to listen. She said, always you make complaints. What is wrong with that blade? Just now I have paid a pencil of your son and fixed to that. When a pencil can be paid, your shaving cannot be done. Now what you can teach to such a great Amma? Maunam Vyakhya Prakatita Para Brahma Tattvam Yuvana. So when the instrument that we take for any work or undertaking, if the instrument is not properly tuned, our performance is directly affected. Therefore, all this through this agency or the principle of love, what we are doing is maintaining our instrument called as mind in such a manner that it is always available for best performance. And therefore, whenever we are coming in contact with the elders around us, if we have this pure, sincere attitude of respect and reverence, your mind will always be charged with positivity, confidence, because you know somebody who is elder than you is taking care of you. The other day, one girl was driving me from our Coimbatore to some place, Dhyanalingam. Now, she has never driven that long distance, as she was telling. I said, never mind, many people have driven me crazy, you can try on me also, doesn't matter. And she was driving. And then one statement she said, Swamiji, when you are there, I have no problem. Now what I have done? Nothing. Simply sitting there, listening to Hindi cinema songs. Nothing else. But she has that respect and reverence in her heart. And because of the respect and reverence, her confidence, which was already there, it got stabilized. Therefore, friends, when we respect and revere somebody, it is in our benefit. Because it is in our heart. Instead of that, if we go the wrong way, one example I'll tell you. One of my friend, she came from US to India, and she is a doctor, and her father had some heart problem, so she came. And she was attending my classes also. And one day she told me, Swamiji, I have to talk to you something very serious. I said, everything all right with daddy? No, that is all right, but still I want to talk to you something. I said, all right. So after the morning lecture, she came for breakfast with me. And then, when we were sitting in the room, she said, Swamiji, I don't know what happened. My father, for whom I have come all the way from US, first 3, 4, 5 days, he was talking, he was loving, and he was wanting me to sit next to him all the time. But suddenly what happened, I do not know. He is now avoiding me. I don't know what has happened. And because of that, I am feeling very uncomfortable in my own father's house. Because you can imagine you go to somebody's house and that owner of the house is avoiding you. If you go to that room, he will go to bathroom. So what has happened, I don't know. And I don't know to whom to ask. Then I asked her. I said, I do not know, but let us inquire. I'll take the history of yourself, patient. Do you talk what you hear from me in the Vedanta class as an advice to your father? He says, Swamiji, you are a real genius. I said, then? I am. No, I really mean it. I said, I know that. She was not able to understand. Why did you come directly to this point? I said, look here. Whenever we hear these principles of our scriptures, which are so solid foundation, there is not a single flaw in that. When we hear that knowledge, immediately we want to distribute that knowledge to others. Friends, when anything which is undigested comes out, it is terrible. It cannot be beautiful. Take an example. One person has eaten the most useless thing such as idli and dhokla. And the other person has eaten rasgulla and rabdi and cham-cham, jalebi. And both of them, for our experiment, they vomited. After they vomited, will we look at their vomit and say, hey, this is a idli vomit. Do you know, this is a rasgulla vomit. Will we say no? Vomition is vomition. Whether it is that of ordinary idli or that of jalebi or rasgulla, in the same manner. Whether it is Vedanta Shastra Whether it is ordinary knowledge, when we hear that without digestion, when we bring it out as a vomit, it is disgusting. I said, look here, you must be teaching this Vedanta knowledge to your father. There is no miserable experience for the elders when they have to learn from their children who go and teach them, Dad, you don't understand anything. There cannot be more insulting thing for a human being when the youngsters come and starts teaching them. And the second thing that happens, whenever we find out faults of anybody, we cannot respect or revere that body. You all must be knowing, when there is an idol of the Lord which we use for puja, etc., if that idol is having some defect somewhere, suppose you have got Krishna's idol and his one small finger is broken. So when you go and stand before that Lord, you will not see anything else except the broken finger. Ye only toot kyun gaya? And once you see the defect in a person, you cannot respect. When you cannot respect, you cannot have peace, cheer, happiness, confidence, joy, surrender in your heart. As a result, who is the loser? It is we who are the loser. Therefore, friends, it is extremely essential when we communicate with the elders around us, keep always this thing in mind, that we do not lose our reverence for people around us. Now, what is the meaning of somebody elder than us? Somebody is elder than us in 4 ways. First, somebody is elder than us by age. So, you are 16, 15 and your father is 35, 40. So, you have no choice but to accept. I am talking under Indian conditions. So, your father is elder by age. Second, elderliness is based on the wealth. Somebody is richer than you. Third, somebody is stronger than you physically. And fourth, somebody is elder than you by knowledge, jnana vriddha. Now these 4 criteria will definitely give you somebody or the other around you is elder than you for one or the other criteria. And as a result, you will always maintain an attitude of respect and reverence for people around you. When this is done, your mind will remain always calm, quiet, cheerful, and with confidence. Those who have self-confidence, they alone have achieved self-management. And what is the self-confidence? Self-confidence is invocation of the inherent potentiality to the fullest bloom is called as self-confidence. Many a times we have the ability, but yet we do not recognize our ability. This example I'll give you. There was one boy and he married to a girl, and the girl I knew right from when the girl was 7 years or 8 years. Slowly the girl grew and she went to that particular boy's institution to learn computer, and finally they got married. And when I happened to go to that city for my talks, I stayed in their house, and this girl, she used to stay with her husband's house. One day I went to their house for food. I visit to the people's house only for food. Just for your information. But I don't suggest anything, okay? There is no suggestion behind this. So, after I went, I said, hey, what do you do? Tell me something. I never know about you. And then he started. I have my small own computer institute and I train the people. They said, what is your qualification? He said, Swamiji, that is the problem. I said, what is the problem? He said, I am not technically qualified. I am only a BCom. But the whole knowledge about it, I am perfect in that. When he was telling like that, then his father-in-law, this girl's father told me, Swamiji, this big institution, SAIL, Steel Authority of India, they wanted to install some software for their company, for what an engineer has come all the way from US to do that job. And when he came over there, he was struggling, but he was not able to start that project, that program. So somebody said, hey, apna wo local army usko bulao. And then this boy went, and he has never seen that program, never known. He said, give me 10 minutes. And that engineer from US was struggling for 2 days. He simply saw that, and whatever he has done, and the program started. And then that person said, hey, what are you doing in this useless place? Why don't you come to US? He said, oh, let us see. When this information I got about this boy, I said, look here, give me your biodata, whatever you have done, experience, let us see, we'll do something. Today he is in Germany. Within a period of 6 months, he has become head of the department of one complete division, a young boy of 25 years of age. Now, he had that potentiality, he had that ability, but he has not recognized his own worth. Friends, this self-confidence is not taking things for granted, but the ability to evaluate your own abilities to the benefit of your own existence without causing damage to others is called as self-management. And for invocation of this, the first technique is maintain your quality of the mind with the following points. It has to be calm and quiet all the time. Nothing should excite us. That doesn't mean, Swami, nothing excites us. We are simply sleeping about the other. No. That quietness should not be born out of indolence or laziness. But the quietness should be the quietness of the horse who is standing quietly before he starts his race, full of dynamism yet controlled expression. And this is possible through this one technique I told you. So quiet mind. Second, alert mind. Third, vigilant mind. Fourth, creative mind. Fifth, the mind with confidence. When all these points come together in our mind becomes a right instrument for achieving any success in life. Therefore, when we respect and revere others, it is in our benefit. So, that friend, doctor who came, she says, Swamiji, what you are telling is true. I told my father, you never go to satsang, you never listen Bhagavad Gita, I have never seen you in your whole life. You are all the time busy, only in music and going to movies and all that. Now you have become old, the time is passing. Take the Lord's name. And this is, Swamiji, I learned from you the same thing I told. I said, are you qualified? without qualification, without authority, when we do something, it boomerangs back. Like many times, the parents have this common complaint about their children. Swamiji, our children don't listen to us. But when the same thing you tell, they listen to us. What is the reason? Because you have lost your credentials before your children. They have seen you right from childhood, what type of personality you are, and then with that kind of picture in their mind, then when we go and advise, dekho beta, you should study regularly. You should not keep awake for too long. You should not waste your time here and there. And the children have seen what we have done throughout our life. So they say, acha, acha. So chuhe khake billi hach chali. Now you teach us. When we were children, you know how much you have persecuted us. Therefore, friends, please remember it is in our interest that we respect and revere everybody around us. With this attitude, our mind remains perfectly tuned for better performance. Now, the second is our interaction with our contemporaries. When we have interaction with the contemporaries, it is with an attitude of friendship. Many of us get lost by being a friend to a friend. When we become a friend to a friend, that becomes a bondage. On the contrary, we should be friendly to everybody. See? When we are friendly to everybody, we are able to accept the shortcomings of our friend with dignity and tolerance. When I know somebody is my friend and he has got some bad habits, then what do? It's okay, he's my friend. Like that. Then only we can live properly in this world. Therefore, when we have to deal with the contemporaries in our life, have this attitude of friendship. The other day, probably in Hyderabad or somewhere, the person with whom I was staying, he said, Swamiji, I want to ask you something. Please don't say no. I said, then you have not given any choice. So understand, it is given. Don't tell me what it is given. No, you must know that, but you should not say no. I said, no, that I will decide. You can't compel. You can't take things for granted. Okay, Swami, but I am very afraid of you. I said, then don't tell. So suppose you will say no then. I said, yes, I will say no. I will definitely say no now. And his problem was, he said, Swamiji, I was staying with my guru and he was young, not an old person, must be around mid-40s or even younger than that, 41, 42. And he was a great Mahatma, and right from childhood he had all the divine powers, and he told us that you walk this way, and slowly we are growing spiritually. One day it so happened, he was going somewhere by the car, and that day he told, you people don't understand me, you will regret thereafter. And we didn't understand what he was talking. And he went, his car met with an accident, and he died on the spot. Now he was, this boy who was talking to me was all the time disturbed. He says, Swamiji, I want to get a favor from you. I said, what is that? Will you please become my guru? I said, Shiva. If you want to be with me, be just a friend. Friends, that love, which does not have any nomenclature of relationship, that is pure love. That love which is labeled, that love leads to bondage. That love which is not bound by the terminologies of relationship, that love is the worst kind of bondage that we have, and because of that we suffer. Therefore, if you want to have any relationship, don't create relationship. Let us live like friends. When we live like friends, you will have no burden of carrying me as your guru. Guru, the another meaning of the word guru is heavy. So to carry the guru is very heavy. It is not so simple. And all the time you will be under tension and worries. Instead of, why don't you remain as a simple friend? And as you remain with others, same attitude. Then only you will grow. Or else you will have another problem born out of guru. The problems of guru are the most crucial problems in the lives of everybody. Because we adopt somebody as a guru. One person asked me this thing in Bombay. He wrote me an email, took my phone number, and he said, Swamiji, I want to adopt you as my guru. So kindly take down my phone number so that you can call me whenever I want. I said, I don't want to call you. No, but then how will you adopt me as guru or disciple? I said, look here, if you are interested, if your mind is at home with this idea, then you keep this idea with you. As regard I am concerned, I do not accept that I am guru of anybody. Friends, to remain as a friend is growth. And to remain as a friend to a friend is the arrest of further growth. Therefore, Bhagavan says in Gita, Maitraha Karuna Evacha. In the 12th chapter, when he is describing the devotee, he is Maitra. Maitra means he is friendly with everybody. So that attitude of friendship with everybody breaks all your shackles and limitations. And then you are able to merge with everybody without the hierarchy of superior and inferior. Now be very attentive. When we are dealing with the elders, we maintain that hierarchy because it is required for our growth. But when we are having our relationship with the contemporaries from our side, when the relationship comes up, it should be that of friendship, wherein you dissolve all the barriers of otherness. Then alone self-confidence can be developed in us as well as the people around us. Now the third is the relationship with those who are younger than us. Younger people are qualified to commit mistakes. They are meant to commit mistakes. We as elders should have the magnanimity to accept their mistakes with love and forgiveness. Love towards youngsters, forgiving their shortcomings is called as the love. Normally, when the youngsters do some mistakes, we elders take a very wrong stand. Yes, you have done, you should be punished. Why can't we forgive? Friends, when we forgive somebody, what happens? We unload the unwanted load from our mind. Because when we don't forgive somebody, we want to punish. So that person is constantly in our heart. His shortcomings are in our heart. When we look at somebody's shortcomings, they enter our heart. I remember about this. Once I was on the front line of our country, somewhere in Nepal, in military camp, and they took me to the temple. Swamiji, please give talks to our Jawans and all people. We hardly get anybody. You have come, please talk. I said, all right. So I went to their military temple. Now it is a military temple. So all the gods were standing on the walls, attention. Nobody can look here and there. Very beautiful. And in between there were writings. And the writings were in Hindi. I'll tell both Hindi and English meaning. So it was written. जब आप किसी दूसरे के दोष देखते हो तो वो दोष आप में प्रवेश कर जाते हैं. जब आप अपने दोष देखते हो तो वो दोष निकल जाते हैं. See how beautiful it is. When you see the shortcomings of others, they enter you. When you see your own shortcomings, then you remove them out. So when we are dealing with the youngsters with us, we should have the magnanimity to forgive them. Who has not done mistakes in life? Even God has done mistake. What mistake He has done? He has made us human beings. It is His problem. What should we worry about it? So let us forgive. This attitude of forgiveness towards those who commit crime against us is the best way to develop self-confidence. And the last one is the criminal elements in the society. Protect yourself from them. That is all. Don't come headlong with those people who do not have a head. Keep away from them. Whether you call it as a cowardice, whether you call it as a giving walkover, doesn't matter. In this life, we have to understand with discrimination with whom to get entangled and from whom to withdraw totally. One example I'll give you about this. This happened in Uttar Pradesh. I don't know why they call it Uttar Pradesh. Actually, it is a Prashna Pradesh. There is no Uttar. All problems are there. Yet it is called Uttar Pradesh. Uttar means answer. So, once I was going somewhere, in Kanpur probably, and a friend of mine, he happened to meet me. So on the roadside itself, we were talking. So I was talking in English as my usual way of talking, and he was talking to me in Hindi as his usual way of talking. Now I have no problem in understanding Hindi, and he has no problem in understanding English. And our dialogues were going comfortably. There was no problem at all. There was a third person, singular, huge. His biceps were replaced by the thigh muscles. And he was standing there, and then he came. Are you Hindu? So when I looked at him, I said, any objection? He said, if you are Hindu, why don't you talk in Hindi? That was the definition of Hindu. So when I looked at him, I said, there is no point in arguing with him. Then I started talking chaste Hindi. महात्मन धन्यवाद. इसके पश्चात मैं सभी के सभी वार्तालाप केवल हिंदी भाषा में ही करूंगा. ये क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? What are you talking? This is not the right Hindi. Because he knew only that Hindi which is mixed with Urdu, English and local words. And yet, I said, yes, you are right, I should talk in Hindi. And when I started talking in Hindi, then he shook my hand. And he virtually squeezed my life out of it. And when I started shouting, oh, then that Rakshasa, ha, 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 ha. Now with such a person, what is the best way? Thank you. And go away. There is no need. Protect yourself. We must have that wisdom. With whom to get locked or get away. You must have seen, this Kaun Banega Karodpati. In that, There are few intelligent people. When they come up to 10, 20, 30 lakhs, I don't know, after that, when they say, I think there is no possibility of further going, they say, okay, we withdraw. At least we get the 20 lakhs. Some people are making it a prestige issue and walk out with 3,000 rupees. We should have that wisdom. When it is not possible to deal with the criminal elements of the society, withdraw without shame. Let anybody say anything. Just about 5 days before, I received a phone call from Bombay. And my friend phoned and he said, Swamiji, such and such person, you know him. He was dialed by the underworld Don and straight away given not a threatening, a final decision. You will be murdered within 3 days. Now he is in a terrible position. He phoned me. So I am thinking of going there. So I want your blessing. I said, stop yourself. Don't go anywhere. You find out what is your authority. You find out what is your capability. If any one of their fellow comes and does, you will be thrown away. You hardly have any muscles, only bones wrapped in the skin. So don't do that. But Swamiji, will it not be bad if he is in trouble, I should go and help him? I said, if you want to do, you inform police and don't tell the police who you are. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. We should have that wisdom. With the criminal elements of the society, keep yourself away. That is not in our hands. Therefore, these are the 4 types of love. Love for the elders is reverence. Love for the contemporaries is friendship. Love for the youngsters is forgiveness. And love for the criminal elements in the society is to be indifferent to them. That is not our purview. Let the law decide. We should live at the most with our in-laws, not beyond that. Don't cross your borders. When this attitude is the foundation of our interaction with the world, the net result will be our mind will remain ever calm, quiet, cheerful and relaxed. With such a mind, our interaction with the world is always creative and never negative. And this is how we achieve success in our HRD area. You know what is HRD area? Human resource destruction. When we are able to invoke, now I am taking you one step further. When we are able to invoke the dormant potentialities from the people who are working with us, then alone we have understood the science of self-management. Again I repeat this. Suppose there are 10 people with me. It is very easy to condemn somebody and prove that he is good for nothing. For that, you don't require any preparation or any genius. That depends on which side of the table you are. When you are taking an interview and when you are giving an interview, see the difference? That depends on which side of the table you are. In one house, I remember, on the bathroom there was a small sticker, very lovely sticker, I can't forget that. It is written there, just 1 minute is how long depends on which side of the door you are. Isn't it? So, to condemn somebody, you don't require any abilities. You can condemn anything for no reason. But our success in life is to discover the area of potential growth in all those people who are working with us and make them self-confident by our proper interaction. If that we are able to do, we have learned self-management. Friends, about this one example I'll tell you. I know many industries because I go in their industries for talks. Recently I went somewhere in Karnataka. And there, one industry which I visited, they told me about something. It was so touching and so beautiful. She said, Swamiji, in our organization, company, we have experts for human resource development. And those 2-3 people come. And we are very benefited because of them. There was one boy who was engaged as an unskilled labor when they were constructing that institution, their factory. Unskilled labor. Get water, so he'll get water. Get the bricks, he'll get the bricks. Get the cement, he'll get it. Like that boy. After a period of 15 years, he is head of one complete production unit. See? He said, do you know what we have done? Our experts, they come and every 6 months, there is a orientation training and evaluation of all the persons in the factory, everybody. And in that evaluation, they see who is competent in which area. And according to their advice, we change their jobs. And that boy or person who is competent, he slowly grows. So it doesn't matter whether you have got MBA or you are just an ordinary person. What is required is whether you have the ability to produce wealth or not. That is important. And once we are able to achieve this by our interaction with the people around us, then we have understood the science of self-management. To find out the positive area of growth among the people who are working with us requires a special faculty. And that special faculty is unbiased estimation of people around us without any selfishness involved. When our vision is thus purified, we are able to see the dormant potentiality in everyone around us. When this is done, we have completed half the task of our self-management with reference to the people around us. Now the second half. How do we manage ourselves with ourselves? Bhagavad Gita very clearly tells, Uddharedatmana atmanam natmanam avasadayet. We are in this world for evolution and growth. When we become old, and for becoming old, you don't have to be 80 not out. There are people who are, you ask them, what is your age? I am 35 years old. So for becoming old, you don't require the growth of your body. How the old age comes? Old age comes when? One, you lose interest in life. ठीक है, you ask people sometime, how is life? ठीक है स्वामी जी, जिंदा है. It's okay, we are alive. And you know, such people, they don't die also. The tragedy is this. They should die at least. So the problem is solved for them and for others. So the first sign of old age is when we lose interest in living. We have to live every moment of our life with fullness of vigor. Our Ishavasya Upanishad says, Kurvanneveha karamani jiji visheshatagam sama. Learn to live 100% every moment of your life. When we live anything, every moment, half-heartedly, we can never enjoy our own existence. On the contrary, if we perform wholeheartedly, not a hole in the heart, participate fully, whatever you are doing, this is the first step of self-management with yourself. Any small little thing that we do, we must enjoy our own performance. When we have to dress and go outside, it must be most neatly dressed one. When we have to address, each and every word must be properly chosen and perfectly delivered. When we take interest in life, then only this is possible. Otherwise, under the disguise of a wrong quotation, see, simple living, high thinking. It is not simple living, high thinking. It is shabby living and stupid thinking. How you dress and how you address gives your personality to the world. Every time, remember, small little things we do, take full interest in that. For example, I have finished my use of this hanky. Normally what we do, we take out the hanky from our pocket, and that hanky is like what? Like a cricket ball. It is never properly folded. We use it, open it, and then collect all the invaluable material, and then protect it. And thereafter, like a cricket ball, it goes back. Can't we take this simple thing? Whatever little things we do must be done beautifully and perfectly. Even if you want to tear a paper, tear that paper in such a beautiful manner that others should feel, alas, I was a paper, because it was torn so beautifully. Therefore, the first principle of dealing ourselves with ourselves is we have to learn to live a full life. Never live half-heartedly. When you are taking food, enjoy. It's not, I don't know what food you have given, I just ate. Are you buffalo? We must have that discrimination, what food we are eating. Otherwise, I don't know, it doesn't matter for me. I am just like that only. No. Lead every moment perfectly well. Participate in every small little thing of your life with full interest. One day, I went to somebody's house for food. And then I was inquiring about a dish. Hey, this is very nice, this is very tasty, how did you make? After all that was over, then Amma said, Swami, today I am very happy. I said, for a change? She said, yes. How come? He said, today you have eaten every dish with so joy, and I was enjoying that. Otherwise, we prepare so many things, and if the people come, and I don't care. That means their sincerity in preparation of the food was totally disregarded. Therefore, every small little thing we do, we must enjoy. First principle of self-management with yourself. Second thing, everything that we do must be an act of inspiration. Inspiration is a catalytic agent because of which we are able to bring out the best husband out of ourselves. Presently, we are only husband. When we are able to bring the best husband out of us, then we are inspired husband. Otherwise, husbands are normally perspired, not inspired. Similarly, if I am inspired, then out of an ordinary doctor, a great doctor is born. When I am an inspired listener, I am listening every word. Otherwise, they told me to come, so I have come. I don't know when he's going to stop. I don't think he's going to stop. He's getting unnecessarily inspired. He doesn't stop. You sit also and suffer also. On the contrary, the other example. Suppose you have to deliver a talk. I don't know what I should talk. They unnecessarily called me. अच्छा बताओ क्या बोलूं? ठीक है सब कुछ. In this manner, there is no joy, no inspiration of the speaker, nor there is inspiration for the listener. Both of them are mutually destroying each other's time. Therefore, whenever inspiration becomes the springboard of your performance, you outwit your own earlier performance. When we are able to outwit our own earlier performance, then alone we are growing in our life. Or else we grow only circumferentially, not otherwise. Therefore, uddharedatmanatmanam. Lift yourself. And how we can lift ourselves? By our performance. Now the third most important principle, all of us one day or the other do something or the other wrong, knowingly, unknowingly. There is nobody in this world who has not committed mistakes. Those who say, I have not committed mistake, then you must be an electric post. You cannot be a human being. All of us have committed. Now the difference between average and the extraordinary person is what? Yes, we have done something wrong. Now discard it, drop it and go ahead. But all the time bringing that past and destroying the present. Every time something is happening in the present, we flush back, not flashback. We flush back and bring our dirty past and destroy the present. An example will make this point clear. One day I went for attending this, a reception of some marriage. So, in Bombay everything is professional. So on the stage, those two kabutars are standing. And other people, they will go there, and then the video camera will be there, and everything plastic, including flower and a smile. Pakka, plastic philosophy. So, all that was over. I go there only for food. I had no other interest in this world. And you know, the tragedy, you think that you are only having tragedy. I have got worse tragedy than you. They tell me, Swamiji, please give them some advice. So I tell them, look here, I would have given them advice before marriage. After marriage, I can only pray. What advice you can give to the married people? You can only pray, no advice. Advice is given not in the posthumous condition. It is ante-mortem stage. So, I went for such a function, and after finishing that formality, I came and sat, and somebody got food for me. So, when I was sitting, one lady came. Swamiji, I have not seen you for so many days. I am so happy to see you, but I am very hurt. I said, Amma, let me finish my food and then we will think about hurting. While taking food, you are hurt because I am eating. Are you hurt or what? I said, okay, sit down here. I said, don't you go and give blessing to that young couple? Swamiji, that is what I am hurt. I said, what, you want to get married or what? No, your old age. Swamiji, don't cut jokes on my life. I said, all right. I cut short. Now tell, what is the seriousness? I will also become very serious. Swamiji, did you see that girl? I said, yes, I have come to see her girls only. Do you see that girl? You know that girl who is married, when I look at her, I remember my daughter who died. I said, when did she die? Yesterday, day before yesterday? No, Swamiji. When she was 6 months, she died. Now that girl who got married is 28 years. So one child born and died 28 years before, the load of that dead baby is still on her head, and wherever she goes for the marriages, she brings it, memory, call, and starts becoming frustrated. Friends, who can help such a person? Therefore, if you manage yourself life, your own life perfectly well, I'll give you a technique. This technique is very universal. You can apply. You will be always happy. One day, one person in one marriage asked me this question, Swamiji, how come you are always happy? What is the secret? I said, the secret is, I derive happiness in the happiness of others. For example, when others get married, I am happy. How simple it is. And you people get yourself married for happiness. Thereafter what happens is Bhagwan's Leela going on. Therefore you conclude your life of marriage with one marriage. Those of you who are courageous may have 2, 3. But normally our Indian condition, one marriage. So your happiness of marriage is over with one marriage. But for me, I attend all the marriages. In every marriage I am happy without getting married. What you want is the bottom line, happiness, not marriage. If we can discover the happiness in the prosperity of others, if we can celebrate the achievements of others, you can never become miserable. And whom we will like to talk to, when I know that somebody, if I tell him something good, he is genuinely happy, then only we tell. Like, I get so many phone calls from different places. The other day, one person phoned, Swamiji, you have forgotten me. I said, what can I do? My memory is 0. 0 MB. Nothing is stored. Anyway, Swamiji, today is my birthday. I said, happy birthday to you. Only for listening this I phoned. Now, what do I get by becoming happy in the happiness of others is free happiness. Today's corporate world advertisement scheme, isn't it? Get married one and take the other free. Isn't it? So, if we take this principle in our life, discover happiness in the happiness of others, your life will have a total different dimension. You will never be self-centered. And the other aspect, when somebody is in difficulty and problems, now don't apply the same formula. If somebody is miserable, you also become miserable. Never do that. About this, I'll give an example. One old couple was staying in Delhi, and both of them were sufficiently old, something like 75, 80 not out, batting was going on. And one of them has to be out first. Both of them cannot be simultaneously out. So, the wife died by God's grace. Everything happens by God's grace. So the wife died. And thereafter this husband remained. And I was in Delhi that time. So, when I got the news, I said, look here, I can't come now. My talks are going morning, evening, and I'm staying far away. about 40 miles. So I'll come later. And after my all talks, everything was over. After 10 days, I visited. I visited and talked to him about everything except the death of that Amma, his wife. General thing. In Delhi, most wonderful topics are politics. So we spent about half an hour here and there, ha-hoo, had a cup of tea. And when I was going, that elderly man, he got up, he hugged me. He says, Swamiji, now I know why you are a Swami. I said, what happened? Any mistake? He said, no. You are the only visitor who has come to visit me after the demise of my wife and not made me cry. All others come and they go on talking to such an extent. Unless I cry, they don't feel happy. And he said, we were both prepared because after a particular age, our tickets are booked. Only thing, the date of departure is not known to us, that's it. The tickets are booked. So both of us are prepared. So one has to die. So at that stage of life, why make somebody more miserable by reminding him his miseries? Friends, everybody in this world is self-sufficient as regards miseries are concerned. We don't have to make them miserable. Everybody is self-sufficient. So when we are able to discover happiness in the happiness, prosperity of others, and when we are able to not remind the miserable people of their miseries, but bring them out of that miserable mood even for 10 minutes, you have done a great service to yourself as well as to the society. When this attitude is maintained by us while dealing with ourselves, then we have achieved a perfect balance with our interaction with the world on one side and with our own interaction with ourselves on the other side. When these two things are properly balanced, a perfectly self-managed personality is evolved in every one of us. And friends, this is possible by us, for us, on us. Democracy of the self-management. You know what is the democracy for our country? Government by the people, for the people, on the people. So this has to be practiced by us, on us, not on others. When you thus practice this, you will remain ever cheerful, extremely happy, ever alert, full of wit and humor. Even among the most tragic times of your life, you will not lose your cool. As we see in the life of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. All the tragedies of the whole universe were bombarding on him every now and then. And yet, never there was a time when he was crying in his life. That ability to keep the smile on and the confidence in is the description of a perfectly evolved human being. Friends, this we have to achieve. There is no way, there is no proxy. It is we who have to work on, and we must. Thank you very much. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.